This is Newcap News with Lauren Poland.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. It was a puzzling scene outside City Hall today as RCMP members, along with the K9 unit, continue to investigate the grassy area in behind where the new RCMP building will be. Crime scene tape went up early this morning as City Hall employees returned to work after the long weekend.
There was an unfortunate incident there this morning that was reported when some of our staff arrived for work, and the investigation will be ongoing, but appears someone was certainly critically injured, critically hurt.
The RCMP has yet to confirm what exactly happened. We will bring you more information as it becomes available. The second full week of campaigning is in the books for Alberta's provincial election, and candidates are out in full force getting their faces known. Newcomer Richard Yaseko is hoping to be Alberta's first elected independent. For him, right now is about letting voters out there know there is a serious alternative to the mainstream parties.
I think people are a little bit shocked that I'm running, but that's okay. That's okay. Good surprise coming up the middle.
Meantime, PC Richard Starkey is hitting the campaign trail in Minburn, Innisfree, and Ranfurly, while Wild Rose Danny Hausak is sticking closer to home, tackling voters in their cars outside his constituency office, along with going door to door.
According to our campaign manager, we're about 100 votes back, and we're knocking on doors every day in hopes of finding those 100 votes.
Liberal Karina Ganton and NDP Ray Stone were both unavailable for comment. Meantime, Wild Rose leader Danielle Smith is in the border city. Right now, she's meeting with media and local supporters at Danny Hozak's constituency office. We'll bring you all the details on her visit tomorrow. Saskatchewan's oil production skyrocketed last year. According to the provincial government, 2011 boasts the second highest production record in history. Last year, Saskatchewan produced just shy of 158 million barrels, up $3.5 million from 2010. The government says the increase is remarkable given the fact the industry was hit hard with spring flooding. 2008 saw the highest production numbers at 161 million barrels. Council's first meeting of the month was quite a busy one, with discussions involving the fire department, our landfill, and quite a few new proclamations. Here's Elise Cox outside Council chambers.
I'm Elise Cox reporting outside Council chambers, and today's Council meeting was a bit of a spring cleaning as it was the first meeting of the month of April, and it came with a handful of proclamations, including a Victim of Crime Awareness Week at the end of the month, Occupational Health and Safety Week at the beginning of May, and an Air Cadet Week. The city's landfill is also getting a bit of a makeover with the go-ahead of a new landfill cell construction and the purchase of a new compactor for a cost of over $500,000. And Council approved the purchase of a new custom technical support unit for our fire department. And one last important note is the Legacy Center is very happy with the approval of a new expansion to their center. We'll have more on these Council updates tomorrow on Newcap News. Reporting outside Council chambers, I'm Elise Cox. Creative writers from across the country are being celebrated through National Poetry Month. With that, the Mayor of Regina recently issued a challenge to other municipal leaders. Through a special proclamation, he invited a local poet to read at a council meeting. Mayors across the country are following suit. Kelsey Bloxham brings us that story.
Never stopping, pursuing hidden gene across trackless frost.
This is not the usual way that City Council gets underway, but the challenge set forth by Regina's mayor was one ours was happy to take on.
Just to take a moment to say, how can we be more complete? How can we be more expressive? And how can we be more caring?
And that sense of expression is something this local poet realized later in life.
I didn't realize the power of a poetic word until just a few years ago when after retirement really, when I began to write poetry.
getting the chance to share his work in front of council members, all while shining a light on the local arts community.
It touches people better than pulling a poem out of a book and saying, look at us, aren't we about poetry? We have an opportunity here for accomplished writers. We have a writers guild that's active. And I think you're going to see today that Ted Huss has a great story to tell.
Wander, wander, unstoppable.
And while many think poetry is a lost art, Hawes has a different view of the age-old craft.
Music is perhaps has been perhaps the last bastion of poetry in our society, and so yes, they've kept that alive. Many of the songs we sing, from pop songs to church hymns, they're all poetic lyrics.
This may be a first for the city of Lloydminster, but National Poetry Month has been celebrated in Canada since 1999. Kelsey Bloxham, Newcap News.
Gerard joins us now with our first look at weather, and after a gorgeous long weekend, another gorgeous Monday to start off the work week.
Yep, we've got some lovely days for the next little while, at least towards Friday maybe. We'll see how far we get.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, but today we had some winds gusting in from the north. So early on in the morning we had a wind chill to consider. Not too much of it, but just a little bit there. Once those winds held out in the earlier part of the afternoon, some of that warmer air from the south is pushed on in. So we are sitting pretty at 5. It's a similar story across the region with blue skies and lots of sunshine to enjoy. And a cool evening is certainly on the way. Details of all of that coming up a little later in the cast.
Coming up, the first in a 2-part feature on kids at risk. That story next.